Hey guys, I'm sorry. I had to restart the whole thing. My son came in the room and I don't talk about this to this level in front of him. I do speak about this. He does know about obviously everything that goes on in this state and country. But there's certain things that I don't talk about in front of him, which is what I was about to hit, the topic I was about to hit on. And he came in the room and, oh, there's another case here. Sorry about that, guys. I appreciate you guys coming back on. I'm going to start this video over right now. I had to take it down. I didn't mean to take it down. I meant to take it off, and it deleted the whole thing. This is something else that happened while I was in the meeting today. It actually it deleted my second portion where I was recording, and it was really good. So let me go quickly back over it real quick. I'll group it together. What happened in the meeting was that I went over the attorney licensing being a fraud, over the fact that this system is tyrannical. It is tyranny, and the door should not open. When they ask me what do I want done, I don't want any new laws. They ask what laws. I don't want laws based on a system that's a fraud. Here's your foundation. Here's your foundation right here. Here's your system. This is the family court. That's the floor. That's the floor. This is the floor. It's not legitimate. So why would I want this system open? Can someone help me out here? Why would I want this system open? Do you want it open? I'd like to see your comments right now if I could. I want to see your comments because I told him and I explained very, very carefully that this system was never voted in by the people. And I actually let him know that he'll never find a congressional record ever showing where the people voted it in. So the one thing that I was trying to say to you guys, hi, everybody. One of the things I was trying to say to you guys was very simple, was that since the system wasn't voted in, it is a fraud. It should not open. And yet it's open all over our country. Since the system is a fraud, and the system is open every single day, and then the attorney licensing is also fraud, everything else past that, all the damages that they're doing, all the intentional harm to you and your children and your families that's being done, I want to tell you, bottom line, is that since it's a fraud and since it should not be open, why is it open? So everything else that's happening, compounded injury that's occurring to you and your families, how much worse is that it's actually being done? You're being forced to court orders. Think about this. You're being forced to court orders. That is an absolute fraud. You're being forced to a court order. That's an absolute fraud. You're being forced to have your money stolen from you. Your children already stolen in most cases. Your children being in tug of war. This is why I got off the thing, because my son came in. We're going to be going skateboarding later. And I didn't want him to hear this part. But he's a perfect example of a victim going from a good family to danger, to a good family to danger, to a good family to danger. That is extremely unhealthy. I am a victim because I have to go before the same judge that I wrote a book about, put his name in a book, wrote a book about, and became a huge public figure regarding this with his name in the book. And I have to go between the judge, the child attorney, and opposing counsel whose names are in the book. Bestseller twice and a bestseller again this year, coming out again, right? So now and refuses to get off the case. So what kind of a game are you playing in there? So that's repeated injury to me. So even though I can go out there and I can speak for all of you and I can go take on your cases and kick ass and I can literally go into your cases and go in and it don't faze me, when I have to keep going in, it's like I keep getting punched and punched and punched and punched over and over again. It's very, very dangerous. Don't you guys understand? It's extremely dangerous for me. It's dangerous for you. It's dangerous for the children. Hi, Joyce. Hi, Ed. I see you guys on. It's dangerous for, hi, Audrey. It's dangerous for each and every family. So I told the Assemblyman, who also, it was the Assemblyman's assistant there, not actually assistant, he's actually very, very high up, and he's also an attorney. So I read him the attorney licensing fraud. I read him Schwar versus Board of Examiners, Dent versus West Virginia, Schlockhauer versus Board of Education, Douglas versus Noble, Yick Woe versus Hopkins. I read him Schwar. I'm sorry, we did Schwar versus Board of Examiners already. I wrote all of that. Read all of them to him. Sims versus Ahern, and that attorney licensing is an utter fraud. So if it's a fraud, what are these courts? What are they? What are they? And they're open right now, destroying somebody's family out there right now. Right now. Right now, they're open all over this nation. Correct, everybody? Georgia, they're open right now, harming somebody's families. Now, the practice of law is an occupation of common right. Period. That's it. And he's going to, right now, he's an attorney. He did not disagree with me at all. He took it all down and he went and I read it. There's no getting around it. They are not attorneys. I'm sorry, they're not, you don't need an attorney. That's more of an interpreter. And what I was saying in the last video, so nobody misses this, because it's going to go on YouTube. You've got a judge, that's a fake judge. Okay? And you've got these legal idiots, right? You got these attorneys, child attorneys, guardian, whatever they want to use. They're all speaking English. We're speaking English, but we need an interpreter in the middle. Why would we need an interpreter? It's not because we don't understand what's being said. It's because they are deceiving the people, and they've been deceiving the people for decades. And it has to go down. And I want New York State, Chris. I want New York State shaken. The state is destroyed, like right now. The judicial system doesn't know which way to turn right now. Okay, this is amazing and powerful what's going on right now. And I want everybody to follow suit in this in every single state. Please, we're taking it down. Chris, we need the state of New York. Start with Ulster County. Let's get them audited. Chris just said page 25, section 16 of the due process of law as articulated in the Mason's Manual of Legislative Procedure as follows. Where there is more than a mere technical violation of the rules of procedure, the violation may invalidate the act, and an act will be invalidated where there is fraud or bad faith. And there you have it. So no such thing as licensing, and not a single solitary place has the people voted in the family court system. It's done. But yet it's open right now. I don't understand this. The second an innocent victim has a warrant for their arrest, them suckers are out there going to get them, ripping their families apart, destroying little children, and throwing a mother or father in jail for no reason. Seconds, because a judge said so. What are we doing in this country? I am so upset about this right now. I am so upset about this right now, and you guys should be too. You guys can call Kevin Cahill's office in New York and tell him that you support the impeachment of Anthony McGinty. We want them all down, though, not just him. I'm just using him as an example because he's the one that I wrote the book about. He's the one that hurt me and my family. He's the one that is so cocky he won't get off countless cases that want him off. I'm dealing personally with over 200 cases. Over 200 cases on one judge. It's probably all his whole caseload. Okay? And so what are we doing, my friends? Let me see some comments in here. Let me see what we got here. Joyce said, just met a mom at the bus stop today. Her twin preemies were medically kidnapped by Yale New Haven Hospital. Come on. This is sickening. So I also told him, and the victim that was there, she talked about horrific things that happened. I know. Matter of fact, she was saying how I helped her case at one point. I went up there and tore them apart. She lives up in Kerhonkson. I tore them apart. And that's, here, let me find this for you. Hold on. New York State, pay attention because you guys can do this in every state in the nation, and I advise that you do. New York State right now, we have a meeting coming with the Assembly because what they want to do is they did a full narrative, and in this narrative, what they want to do is they want to abolish the family court. Okay, listen carefully. Okay, so they're using my words. They want to abolish the family court, and I find that rather funny. They want to abolish the family court, but they want to merge it together with the other courts. Do you know how dangerous that is for the people? Do you understand how dangerous? First of all, how do you abolish something that you merge? Abolish means you get rid of it completely. It's done. So if you're going to abolish it, like even in their own language, they're not even using proper language. Like it doesn't even make sense. Do they need an attorney to interpret? So what they want to do is they want to abolish it, and they're using that word abolish. They're also saying that they want to. I'm going to read the rest that you have there, Chris. I see it. They're also saying that they want to. They want to merge. The last meeting they had. They want to basically have the kids able to speak. So they want to have better psychological forensic people in the courts. That's very dangerous too because they lie. These people lie. Okay, these people don't take the genuine cases. False allegations. All this stuff is very dangerous. We don't need this system. This system needs to be abolished. Period. Not not rebuilt either. We could mediate amongst families, okay? When you have real crimes, they need to be dealt with, and we need a system for that too, because we have a very criminal, our system, our judicial system doesn't run as a judicial system. It's a fraud, the whole thing. The system's a fraud. It's despicable. It's despicable. Now, if you see on my page, it'll say to New York State. Let me read this to you guys. It says to New York State, and you guys should be doing this in your state too. Okay, I can, this is happening because of the hard work. I said, all New Yorkers abused by family court and CPS, please send an email as listed and request that I speak on behalf of all the New York families. I got a response back from Daniel Salvin from the New York State Assembly. So now every single judge that has been named in New York State, from literally from Niagara Falls, East New York, all the way down into the boroughs and everywhere in between, is now on public record. And I said this to the Assemblyman's office today. I said, how dare they, when we go speak at these legislative meetings, how dare they stop us from publicly saying the names of the judges in a public meeting? They protect them. I said, and also I see all this honoring going on, but the people aren't honoring these judges. The people are harmed. There's been exorbitant injury done to the families. It's like being re-hit over and over and over again by a drunk driver, over and over and over again. This is very unhealthy and very down from work. People have to keep going before the same judge. People like me have to go before a whole firing squad. Okay, a whole firing squad. And I said, Anthony McGinty, Amy Ingram, Andy Gilday are hiding what they did to me and my family. They abused us. It's very simple. It's in my book. I have the frickin' transcripts. No matter who reads the transcript from the court day that day is in the book. And so all you have to do is read the transcript, and right in the transcript you can see it. It's so obvious, the abuse and how they abused me and my family. This is the New York State Assembly. If you guys write back, basically what he said was that he said, hi, Francesca, the hearing is, and Joyce, you know about this, the hearing is oral testimony by invitation only, Okay, here they go. They're going to censor the people who can speak. So I told everybody to pile in those emails, and you let them know you want me to speak for you, and I will. I don't mince words. I don't play with words. It says only, but anyone not invited to testify can submit written testimony to the committees. Okay, well and good. I've already got that submitted. They've got the congressional hearing. They've got everything, okay? And then you should see the amount of people that have wrote in. And the majority of them are McGinty, but there's all kinds of other judges and so on, ACS and CPS and all that. The Assembly and State Judiciary Committees are currently conferring on an invitee list. So he's trying to get me in to speak. I will make sure to pass on your interest to testify before the committee. So I said, my victims span the entire state, and they want me to speak. So yes, please, as the families are the ones that should have say in the matter of family court reform. I don't call it reform, because that's what they're calling it, whereby we are the people, and the people, not the judges who are abusing power, are the ones who matter and have the right to be heard and make the decisions and make the necessary changes that we want, not them, we want. This system is archaic and destroying families, I said. There have been countless families already reporting the injuries to Kerry, so she's also an attorney in charge of this state assembly. And you can check with her with regards to the complaints. This is on my Facebook page, you guys. So if you're from New York, get your public complaint in. It goes on public record. Their names are seen on public record. And then also, you'll see the email there that will ask you to please send an email and tell them you want Francesca speaking before the committee that day. This system, and this can be verified, I said, has never been voted in. Contact any Congress member and request. People voted in the family court. I said, you will never find that because it was done without our permission. Nowhere in our nation can anyone produce the congressional record, both federal and state, or initiatives by state for which the people voted in such. You can't. Go do it. I dare you. Go look. Please. Go. Do it. Please. If you haven't seen where we put Congress on notice, please watch the video for the children child trafficking briefing, and it's all over my YouTube channel, Punished for Protecting. Please go look. Come the 12th of November, That video I did with Heart of New York TV will be aired live, recorded live all over the boroughs of New York, which is going to hit about 7 million people, where I am absolutely showing beyond a shadow of a doubt, that the child trafficking industry gateway door is the family court. But let's not just emphasize that, because listen to me for a second. I just got done telling you that this is a fraudulent system. I just got done telling you that all these years people have paid their life savings, everything they've earned, their children's futures, college futures, your lives, your jobs, and your kids. And your kids. Okay? To a system. Think about this. That is an absolute fraud. It is ruined. It has destroyed, not everything, but so much of American families and families outside other countries, as you well see. Okay? So why do you think we work so hard? Why do you think we fight so hard? Why do you think I've given up work? Why do you think I say, guys, donate? I have to travel. Do you want me places? Why do you think I say, let's go do a consultation so I can learn your case, so I can get in there? Why? Why do you think why do you think Chris Hallett is doing these remonstrances? Why do you think David Jose is out there every day in another legislative meeting somewhere doing something? Why do you think we've traveled to Washington, D.C.? Why do you think we've traveled all over the country? Why do you think I'm always in another building trying to get this done? Because this is very bad. This is destroying our nation's families. This is bad. This is bad. Make America great again. For who? I want to know for who. Aren't we a country full of families? People, human beings, life, children? I talked to the Assemblyman, the gentleman today, and I said, do you not understand that that there is the drug epidemic that there is today, that today's youth the crisis is off the charts? Don't get me wrong, I know that kids have sampled marijuana in the past and different things, and in high school and what have you. No. I see a whole different kind of kid today. Most of these kids don't know their identity. Most of these kids are going from safe to dangerous, or full dangerous. Most of these kids don't know who their biological blood family is. Most of these children have been so traumatized. Most of these adults have been traumatized. I mean, robbed from the people. So much. Tell me that this is not, you may not look unhealthy, but there's a lot of unhealthy going on. It might look like a full family, but you don't know who's got whose kids in these families that you see. You might be at a restaurant and see a beautiful looking family, and those kids are taken from somebody else and didn't come from anything harmful. They came from something good, but they were lied to, because it's such a deceptive business. And if you listen to the woman testifying, the lies that are told, the lies that are accepted, this is supposed to be a court of law where it's supposed to be under penalty of perjury, under oath. They all take their oath, right, Chris? They take the oath of office. The judge takes the oath of office to the Constitution. The attorneys take the oath of office to the Constitution. And yet they just sit there and do whatever they want, because we know the truth about the Constitution. They just continue to lie and lie and lie and run this fabricated for-profit private business against all of the families as they destroy the families. I'm really aggravated actually right now, and I'm really disgusted with Facebook messing with my numbers like this when this is like the most important topic. And I think that I love to see somebody like Diamond and Silk with the massive numbers, because they're giving some truth out there. But I think it's really sad, because this is actually the largest movement that there is this movement right here. And I think that it's awfully sad that this is what's happening, how they've been messing with, they've been messing, can I help you? Okay. They've been messing with, I'm not talking about this right now. You can go ahead and finish your work, and then I'll finish with you in a minute. Okay, thank you. Go on, or I'm not taking you. So they've been messing with my numbers for literally since I tried to become a write-in for candidate for governor last year. Like, Facebook has not been the same since then. It is absolutely crazy. It really is. It's absolutely crazy. So, all right, today was, I believe, another good step in the right direction. Anybody from New York, go ahead and call Cahill's office and say that you support the impeachment of Anthony McGinty. And we will continue to go forward from there. I need you guys to please check out my Facebook page, and I need you guys to please look at please look at where I talk about who to write to with regards to, me speaking on behalf of you, because that will cover the entire state of New York. I have most of your cases anyway in my database, most of the victims from spanning the entire state of New York. And then I also have, hold on one second, please. Hold on. Okay. You're not going, we're not going now. Just so you know, we're not going. We're not going. We're not going. That's it. Sorry. I have, also on top of that, I have the cases of all the way down through the boroughs of New York, Brooklyn, Queens, all of them, all the way up to Niagara Falls, all those cases that have been already submitted into the New York State Assembly so that those judges and those attorneys are currently on public record. I don't know every single name, but I have most of them. Some of you guys didn't see me, but she told me that they're coming in like droves, and I'd like to see this happen in every single state in this nation. I know, and it needs to be done. And then, of course, the next step is to start protecting our rights with regards to false vaccination, forced vaccination. And like I talked about before, the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, approved of how many drugs, which is the leading cause of death in our country. The leading cause of death is medical drugs. Medical drugs. Hello, go back and look at that too. So the ones that they approved, they had to pull. So now what with forcing vaccinations on families and telling you don't have a brain to make a decision? Highly insulting. Okay, and it should make you feel very disrespected as a human being. It is wrong. These are barbaric acts. The same thing with the ADA rights, American Disability Act, when they don't even understand the first thing about the American Disability Act. They don't even understand. They think that a ramp for a wheelchair is the only kind of accommodation that anybody with a supposed disability has, when they're causing injuries over and over and over in people's lives, affecting them in every single way imaginable, causing extreme duress and stress and harm, and all kinds of emotional damages that are not like a mental illness. Excuse me, my dog. Come on, Wesley, go, Wesley. I'm sorry, my dog got like stuck in my room. So the ADA. Let's go back to that. So the American Disability Act under Title I is something that people should really look into. And the courts are causing the injury. They're causing all kinds of, and then repeatedly having to go in. It's continuous injury. And there's actually a clause in there. There's actually a clause in there for continuous injury by a judge. Okay, literally, it's so specific, and yet you got these cocky judges that refuse to get off the cases because they want to control the case, and I talked about that there too. So they want to encapsulate the case in their courtroom when it's not even theirs, so that they can control it, and then they can continue to injure you. So it's like communist China when you're abused and you have no say. And so you can keep spending money on all these attorneys to keep appealing, but they're there too. They're all self babysitting. So all the way up the ladder, doesn't matter how high the ladder goes, all the way up the ladder, you're going to have fake accountability. There's no real accountability for this. So my opinion, and I believe I'm right, is abolish and arrest. Abolish and arrest under Title 18, Section 242. Title 18, Section 242. I'm going to read it. This is our laws. It hasn't gone away. Chris, it hasn't gone away, right? Title 18, Section 242, deprivation of rights under color of law. Title 18, Section 242. Title 18, Section 242, deprivation of rights under color of law. Whoever, under color of any law, statute, ordinance, regulation, or custom, willfully subjects any person in any state, territory, commonwealth, possession, or district to the deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities secured or protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States, or to different punishment, pains, and penalties on account of such person being an alien or by reason of his color or race than are prescribed for the punishment of the citizens. We're not citizens, by the way, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 1 year, or both. And if bodily injury results from the acts committed in violation of this section, or if such acts include the use, attempted use, or threatened use of a dangerous weapon, explosives, or fire, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years, or both. And if death results from the acts committed in violation of this section, or if such acts include kidnapping or an attempt to kidnap, aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to commit aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to kill, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned for any term of years or for life or both may be sentenced to death. Did you hear that? Now, listen, let's turn this around a little bit. We talk about kidnapping, a mother protecting her children, being told she kidnapped her kids from a person who's actually abusing them. How about the part about this? They're kidnapping the children. They're coming at gunpoint many times. Many times they're coming with guns strapped to them. And they're stealing your kids and placing them in danger. What about aggravated sexual abuse? What about the woman we heard about today? What about the people with the forensic sexual records, medical records, and when you look at them and they're lined up on a table and it's 4 and 5 different doctors all saying that there's sexual abuse, but the judge is forcing the child into the predator's hands? Wouldn't that be considered aggravated sexual abuse? Or an attempt to commit aggravated sexual abuse? Wouldn't it? What about all the children that have died? Wouldn't that be an attempt to kill? Wouldn't it be? Wouldn't it be? And I explained this too. I explained Penal Code 26010, if we're going to follow the penal codes, right? Well, 26010 says if you knowingly and willingly send your child into some sort of like knowing abuse, mental, physical, sexual, right? Then it's either a misdemeanor, which can lead to a felony. Well, why can the judges order children into abuse? They're ordering children into abuse, or you go to jail. So you're again in bondage to this very sick system that's a fraud on its face. We just got done showing you that. And there's no such thing as a licensed attorney. I'd like to know what you guys are going to do about it, because I know what I'm doing about it, and I'm fighting, and I hope you are too. Congressional affidavits, get them to me physically. All the information you need is on my page and on Punished for Protecting YouTube. And remember, it's the number 4. Punished for Protecting.